What is up, everybody? Josh Clow here. First episode of my podcast. Every week, I will be discussing certain things, hot topics of the week and whatnot. So, if you guys don't want to listen to something, I will let you guys know down below in the description on like what I'm talking about and at the time, so you guys can just skip over and listen what I have to say. Just know all of this is my opinion, so don't get too mad over it. But anyway, let's just get started. First things first is the Deshaun Watson. Where will he go? First of all, will he leave the Texans? A lot of reports saying, especially Ian Rappaport, that Deshaun Watson has played his final snap as a Houston Texans. Now, they do have a couple months to, I guess, mend things if it's possible. I don't know Deshaun Watson personally. I don't know how his thought process is, and how well he is forgiving and kind of like, all right, let me give it another shot. But a lot of sources says he played his final snap. So I guess the real question is, if he is available for trade, who's really going to get him? He does have a no trade clause, so he can accept and decline whatever trade. So if he doesn't like that team, he basically would say, nah, I don't want that. So there's a couple teams in the running. A lot of people are talking about the New York Jets. They have a lot of draft capital. Could probably, send them Sam Darnold. That's a good, trade possibility right there. A lot of people were talking about the Miami Dolphins because Deshaun Watson said that he wants to play in Miami, but a lot of that's rumored and not actual factual, so we don't really know, who said who and all that stuff, so can't really tell. Some people are hinting maybe the Jaguars trade the first overall pick for Deshaun Watson, take a already superstar going into his front prime over Trevor Lawrence, who, can or cannot pan out to be an NFL quarterback. We don't know yet. So, a couple people are looking into it. I think the 49ers are going to get him. 49ers are possibly a quarterback away, or an elite quarterback away for really getting back into the Super Bowl. I know that they got a pretty injury bug last year. 22 starters, I think 17 or 18 of them got hurt, missed significant time, so including Jimmy G, so that hurt the team a lot. But Jimmy G also, he's kind of been up and down. I think he's a respectable, okay quarterback. I think he still has things to improve on. His record, doesn't lie. He has a really good winning record, but at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and if you can get him, you should get him. And, Deshaun Watson is going to go in with a very great defense, that ranked number 1 in 2019. You got to the Super Bowl and almost won the Super Bowl, into that late comeback from the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. What can you do? But if the 49ers get him, obviously you're going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo and Deshaun Watson. They're probably going to trade a first-round pick. I think they have the 9th overall pick. I didn't look it up. I'm not entirely sure, but they do have a somewhat higher pick in the top 10, in which the Texans do not have a first or a second, so they definitely want some draft capital to start rebuilding the team. Obviously, that's not going to be enough. I don't think they're going to trade a second-round pick, for this year, for the fact that they do still want to surround Deshaun Watson with weapons. Like, they have George Kittle, obviously. They have Deebo Samuels, but they can still have an upgrade so they can build around Deshaun Watson, get into a great offense. So I think they'll keep their second and try to move things around, be like, all right, looking at the 2022 draft, they could get, give away their first round pick that year too, or maybe dump another player away to, free up cap space and not trade away more picks so you can build around the team. I think a perfect guy that they could trade away, in my opinion, is D. Ford. He only played like 1 or 2 games last year. He got injured, 29 years old. You want to clean up some cap space. So Deshaun Watson does bring in a heavy price tag coming forward after this year. up to like $35-40 million a year. So you want to clean up some of that. D Ford would be a perfect fit for the Houston Texans, as they had a awful defense last year, and J.J. Watt's kind of mystery right now. We don't know if he's going to be staying. Maybe he wants to get out too. He wants to contend on his final couple of years. He's getting up there in age, over 30 and all that. So anything, that defensive help can probably help the Texans, rebuild, maybe put them contending type. If they bring in Jimmy G, their offense is still okay looking. Their defense could use a lot of work, and maybe trade in like a third or fourth, fifth round pick, somewhere around there, to sweeten up the deal. That other teams might be like, oh, I got 3 first round picks to give you. But all in all, I think the 49ers are going to do it. And for the 49ers, why? I mean, Kyle Shanahan is a great play calling. He's a great head coach. And Deshaun Watson would definitely benefit over that. George Kittle, of course, you could be, arguably, considered one of the best tight end in the league behind Travis Kelce. Deebo Samuel's an up-and-coming wide receiver, really fast. He did get hurt last year. Also George Kittle, but hopefully week 1, all those guys are 100% ready to go. Like I said, if you trade away D Ford and trade away Jimmy G, you'll free up some money. Get a free agent wide receiver. Don't have to get like a super elite guy, but you can get a medium tier, second wide receiver, maybe slot receiver to help Deshaun Watson move the ball down the field. And like I said, keep that second round pick, because I think one of their biggest needs still is a receiver. So they could draft a receiver in the second round, like I said, to build Deshaun Watson up and have a great offense moving forward to compensate that really great defense. So yeah, I think the 49ers is the best spot for Deshaun Watson, and I think that trade could get down. Also, the guy from Caserio, whatever his name is, the new GM from the Patriots, he might like Jimmy G as well. A lot of connections right there, so that could also pan out. But that's it for the Deshaun Watson situation and all that. Moving forward, why is the Eagle job still open? A couple of reasons why. First of all, the candidate is probably still in the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, you can't sign to be a head coaching. They don't want distractions. They don't want a team giving up on their team so they can go be the head coach, which I feel like is stupid, because who would decide to give up if you have the chance to win the Super Bowl? I wouldn't. Even if I am an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or whatnot, a ring's still a ring. It's something I could put on my resume, but they don't want them getting distracted, having to get all their coaches in place and all that. So, which is a big, downside for these coaches in the playoffs. They get a late start and miss out some good opportunities because of that, because some of these teams want the fast start, right off the bat. Here's your coaches. Who do you think you want to draft? Second is, I don't think it's a great job right now, and there's a couple of reasons and problems going on with the Eagles. The first one is the Wentz versus Hurts, who to choose. It's probably the biggest decision there is. Do you roll with the starter for the last couple of years, Carson Wentz, who's definitely had an up and down year in the last couple of years, really, sustaining a really terrible injury the year they won the Super Bowl. Just hasn't looked like himself ever since he came into the NFL and what he was capable of. Or Jalen Hurts, who showed a lot of promise the last couple of weeks. They didn't win games a lot, they won one game with him, but definitely showed a lot of promise, and the offense was rolling. So, and it depends on the coach, what type of coach you get. I know if you get the Kansas City guy, he might roll with Hurts because he more fit into what Patrick Mahomes can do to what Carson Wentz could do. So that could be a big decision right there, depending who they're going to get. I'm not a big Eagles fan. I don't keep up with the Eagles a lot, but I've heard a lot of things about Howie Roseman, how he's a terrible guy, can't draft, contract sucks. He just not a great, person in the organization, yet they still keep him. That could be a big problematic too. I know that Doug Peterson's like, I don't like being told what to do. Maybe, Howie Roseman and the owner is sitting there saying, you got to do this and this and this, and you can't do this. And that could be a big problem too. And then lastly, just a broken culture, dysfunctional team. You got some players, doing their own things that kind of been questionable throughout the season, and having to deal with those people and having to break away that and try to build up the culture. And it's really hard to build a culture with the same guys you have. And when a lot of people do culture changes, they kind of get rid of all the bad apples, trade them away, cut them, and try to bring in your own guys. So Eagles could be looking for a rebuild, I guess, but it's not a very attractive job at right now. I mean, in about a couple years, probably be a great job for anybody, but right now it's kind of like pick your poison. It's a lot better than the Texans situation, but that Philly job is still questionable, really. And that's basically all for the Eagles situation, why they still don't have a coach, and about what's the problems with it. Third thing on the chart is the Bills at the Chiefs this weekend on Sunday. As of right now, when I make this video, Patrick Mahomes is still not clear to play. He's in concussion protocol, which means that he could not play on Sunday. And Patrick Mahomes really makes and breaks that team. Now, last year they had, Matt Moore, played okay. They don't have Matt Moore this year. They have another ex-Miami Dolphins quarterback, by the way, in Chad Henne. And the real question is, can Chad Henne keep up with Josh Allen? I have not watched a lot of Chad Henne in the last couple of years, probably mostly because he's been a backup. But when I did watch him as a Miami Dolphins quarterback, and I believe he was a Jaguars quarterback for a little bit too, he was not that great. There's a reason why he's a backup quarterback. And then even in the Chiefs game, I think that he did make some questionable calls or questionable plays. He made some good plays too. I mean, definitely with his legs, he definitely was out there trying to win. Don't discredit him whatsoever. I just don't think he can keep up with Josh Allen. I think that offense is really nice, and Chad Henne is just not on that caliber for what Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen is. But the flip side is, if Mahomes can play, he does clear concussion protocol by then. Can Josh Allen keep up with Patrick Mahomes and company? It's just that offense is too much. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, a couple other guys here and there. And, the running back situation, two great running backs. Just don't have enough guys to, keep up on him. Patrick Mahomes always makes plays with his legs and with his arms, always improvising every time. So I don't see Josh Allen actually keeping up with Mahomes. I don't think that he's there just yet. But this is a clash of two great quarterbacks and great offenses going at it. But I don't see Josh Allen keeping up with Mahomes unless, Mahomes isn't 100%. They rushed him in, which can't really rush someone in for a concussion protocol, but NFL likes to do some dirty things every once in a while because of ratings. And really just depends on, in-game situations, if Tyreek Hill got hurt or, Stephon Diggs get hurt or something like that. So, or someone on the defense gets hurt, and then that frees up, wide receiver popping off. And lastly, weather conditions really doesn't matter between this game. Between the two teams, they're both cold. Buffalo Bills, it's always cold, snowing up there. They're used to that. Kansas City, it's pretty cold out there, going in December and January. And they're both cold weather teams. I think if it rains, it might, cause a little problem. But if it's really cold and it's snowing, I don't see it slowing down either team. They're pretty used to it. So really, it's going to be three cold weather teams against a warm weather team, which is Tampa. But Tom Brady is used to playing in the cold, so it's a lot of cold weather guys going at it. So it's going to be a fun weekend between the two games. Lastly, we're going to be talking about Baker Mayfield real quick. The Browns have not exercised his fifth-year deal. If you're a first-round pick, you have the opportunity to exercise a fifth-year option, which it's a big bump in pay. for that 5th year to work on a long-term deal. They have not exercised that yet. And I guess the real question is, has Baker Mayfield earned another contract? In my opinion, I think so. Kevin Stefanski's sitting there playing safe. Oh, well, it's not to me, it's up to the GM, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want to, say the wrong thing, which could hurt contract situations. And, he can say, oh, yeah, he's the franchise guy. And the Browns like, nah, we don't want him anymore. And then there's like a broken trust right there. But you got to look at Baker Mayfield and what he's done in the last 3 years for the Cleveland Browns. First of all, he's played with 4 head coaches. Hugh Jackson, Greg Williams, Freddie Kitchens, and now Kevin Stefanski. That's a lot to ask for a young quarterback. Definitely his rookie year when head coach got fired midway through. He's also had 4 or 5 different offensive coordinators, ever since he came in. Meaning that he's had so many different playbooks over the last couple of years, having to learn and remember certain things. He said it's really hard for a young quarterback for that, a lot of things to grasp and learn and overcome. But all in all, he has a 23-22 record. He went 11-5 this year. He had 27 total touchdowns to 8 interceptions. A lot of people are saying that he got a lot better, and I think he did too on paper since Odell Beckham Jr. got hurt. He also has 7 game-winning drives under his belt, so he has, shown that he can come back and win a game. First playoff since 2003. I think that's the first thing you should consider. They've had so many quarterbacks. First of all, there's so many quarterbacks who did not get a second deal, all right? I don't remember the last quarterback on the Browns that got a second deal. So Baker Mayfield will be the first quarterback to get a second deal in a very, very long time. First playoff win since 1995. That right there earned him a new deal. Now, has he earned Patrick Mahomes money, Aaron Rodgers money, money that Josh Allen's going to get? I don't think so. If I'm the Browns, I would definitely exercise his 5th-year option and kind of see what he does in the next 2 years, and which will basically depend on how much money he deserves or how many years. It's basically a 2-year trial, I guess. He's going into his 2nd year with a head coach. It'll be the first time in his career, in the NFL, actually, having a system he already knows, something that he doesn't have to learn again, which will definitely benefit him. I think they're keeping their offensive coordinators, and I think they're keeping most of the players, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and all that. So I think that all in all, Baker Mayfield does earn a new contract. A lot of people, gave him a lot of grief last year, when he just kind of took a step back. Although, in my opinion, I don't think that Freddie Kitchens should have been the head coach from the get-go. Thought Freddie Kitchens was not the first candidate, or the second, or the third, in my opinion. Greg Williams should have gotten it, first of all. They played very well under Greg Williams when Hugh Jackson got fired, and I want to say he went, 5-3 under him or something like that. They're playing really well football, and the fact that they were consideration late into the year for playoffs, it's a really big thing. So, but he definitely bounced back from last year to this year, under Kevin Stefanski. So he definitely has earned a new contract for what he has just done for the Cleveland Browns themselves. Has he earned himself a huge, massive contract? No. I think he earned himself, maybe like a 2-3 year deal. All right, if you can get us to a Super Bowl or AFC Championship game, then we'll be talking about real money. But until then, I think that he has earned a good $25 million a year type situation, average quarterback money at this point, and we'll see how he does in the next couple of years, as long as the Browns stay consistent with their coaching and their development and moving forward, and hopefully not taking a step back in any of that and all that. But that will do in my first podcast. Let me know down below anything you guys want to discuss, what we talked about, Deshaun Watson and him going to the 49ers. the Eagles' job, Bills and the Chiefs game this weekend, and then Baker Mayfield. Let me know down below what you guys think, opinions, disagree, agree, any of that. And make sure you like and subscribe. And thank you for your time for watching this video. And hope you guys have a blessed day, blessed week. And I will catch you guys on another video.